people, we are here for our first ever VGC video. So I just if you guys don't know, I do stream. I'm a Twitch streamer. I'm a competitive Pokemon player, so I'm gonna introduce myself first. So my name is Joseph Ugarte. I've been playing Pokemon for quite a bit. I started playing in 2017. And since then, I've just loved the game, and I've always wanted to grow in it. And recently, because of obviously you guys know all the quarantine, everything, gotten into content creation, which has been good. A big thing is like obviously like it's tough times right now, but I also want to kind of I want to help grow the scene, right? And I want to help like add to the community, kind of add new things, right? So my idea with this was like I want to start a channel, right? I do stream like battles and everything, but I want to go beyond that, right? You want to go for content beyond that. So for me, I just wanted to kind of have this new approach where like we kind of break down VGC in its essence, kind of give you guys tips. It's just me talking to you guys. Obviously we'll have other content here. And I think it's important, right? Because sometimes what happens is we kind of like get so caught up on the battling aspect that you don't really like look at the other nuanced things that come with VGC, right? So the biggest thing I think here is like I kind of want to be able to break down kind of like how as a competitive Pokemon player, because I am #1 in the USA right now. I do have a lot of experience. I kind of want to break down kind of the other mentality parts of it and how you approach tournaments, how you approach learning in VGC, all these different things that are really important that I feel like don't get addressed enough. So I think it's really important to be able to do that stuff. So yeah, so the idea of this video, we're going to be doing top 5 tips from me to give you guys kind of an idea of just give you guys an idea of what I think you need to do to grow as a player, which I think is always helpful, of course. If you guys don't know, I do stream on Twitch. Link will be in the description. Thank you guys for being here, and yeah, let's get right into it. So I'd say for my first tip, right, being prepared in a Pokemon area is really important, right? Like when you come into a tournament or any match, right, you need to be able to understand. You need to be able to understand your team that you're using. You need to be able to understand the game, the basic mechanics, right? So one of the biggest tips I would give in terms of when you start out in this game is make sure you understand as much as possible, and you make sure you come in prepared to whatever you do. So if you go into a battle, even if it's just ranked battles, you make sure you know what this team does. You kind of have an understanding of what every Pokemon on the team does. You have an idea of what the moves do, right? You're not afraid to tweak and figure out how you can fix your team up, how you can change things for the future, right? And I think that leads into our number 2 as well, right? So using your resources, right? There are a lot of good resources, and I will be linking these below, right? You have kind of the opportunities for Pikalytics, right? Which is kind of a usage thing. It tells you mons that are in, like the mons usage. It tells you kind of their sets. It tells you their their spreads, their EV spreads, all very useful, right? This doesn't mean that you have to exactly follow what they show, but it gives you a good starting basis for an idea of what you do. There's another one, Babbery.net. It shows the top teams on Showdown. Very useful, even though obviously some of it may be inaccurate because it only scouts public replays. It's still a worthwhile thing to check out. And I think the other good resources are where you can see team reports, where you can see VGC streams. I'll link a few good VGC streams below, including my own, like we mentioned at the beginning. But I think that watching other people play is also a good way to do it. I think there are a lot of good videos out there and a lot of good content creators that can teach you what you need to know, right? And I think that by using those resources, stuff like Trainer Tower, Victory Road, where you can see team reports, everything else, it helps you a lot. So yeah. So what I would say for number 3 is accepting losses and learning is probably one of the biggest parts of VGC. And the reason why is because by taking a loss, right, sometimes we have this first instinct where we're like, oh, I lost because of this or this, right? It was just cheese. It wasn't a legit game, I got crit or something, right? But the way I see it, and this is from a competitive player's mindset, you always have to look at your games and be like, what could I have done better to not put myself in that position where that crit mattered? What can I have done to not put myself in that position where my opponent getting the double protect or something else mattered, right? You need to look at your games objectively, even the ones you lose, right? And see where you failed, because you can't just blame it on a critical hit sometimes, or you can't just blame it on a kind of, you know, you can't just blame it on bad luck, because that's part of the game we play, right? And being able to go past that and kind of see in your games, even when you do lose because of something like that, how you could have improved or how you can improve is useful. And the reason for that is because it helps you grow as a player, and it helps you understand your losses better and kind of grow from them. And I think it makes you learn as a player, and it makes you learn as a competitor that you're not always going to have things go your way, and how you can come back and learn from those experiences. Yeah. So for number 4, I wanted to talk about how being open to new ideas and following meta trends can be useful. I know, and this is a thing I see from a ton of new players I coach, players I have on stream that come by my stream to say hello. One of those things is they always like to be like, hey, I don't want to use meta Pokemon, but my team isn't working. Why? The reason why your team isn't working is because you're not using meta Pokemon. Unfortunately, the way it works in most competitive games, right? And this isn't to say that you can't think outside the box and be creative, is you need to be able to kind of set aside this mentality of, oh, I want to be different, right? Because there's a lot of opportunities to be different if you understand how, like, kind of Pokemon competitive works. I'd say for Pokemon in general, like when you're first starting as a beginner, you want to use common teams, not because you don't want to be creative or anything, but because you need to understand how those teams function and how they work before you kind of move to the next level where you're making these creative choices, right? So by kind of understanding and being open to these ideas or teams that you see that are more common, by learning how those teams function, it allows you to incorporate into your own team building, right? And having following meta trends also allows you to learn what is good about those specific Pokemon and teams that are doing well, right? So that helps you as a player kind of understand, like, okay, these teams are doing well because of this. What can I do to better address these teams, right? It gives you a kind of starting basis to look at, and it kind of gives you these own ideas that you can incorporate into your own unique ideas. And you'll see, like, even a lot of good players, the reason why they use meta teams is not because they aren't creative. They're creative with the sets that they use. They're using the team that gives them the best chance to win. And I think when you look at it like that, instead of looking at it as them not being creative, you'll evolve as a player, because then you have this mentality of, I want to win, right? If you're trying to succeed in VGC, your mentality should be like, I want to win, I want to succeed. And the best way to do that is by using things that will consistently net you wins. And that's what I would say for number 4. And for number 5, it's a little more of a wholesome one. It's kind of this idea of enjoying it. Honestly, the best thing for me as a player has been being able to enjoy all my experiences with my friends and everything else, right? Because if you don't enjoy your experiences with your friends, with the people that you are playing with, meeting people at the events, you're kind of missing the point of the game, I think. Like, even as a competitive player, like, I'm in it, right? I want to get money. I want to kind of, like, and obviously everyone wants to get money from these tournaments, right? But, like, it has to be beyond that. You have to enjoy the experiences of playing with people, learning from those experiences, having really good games, even when you lose, right? Even being able to be on stream, you know, all these cool things that this game gives you the opportunity for, that I think you have to be able to, like, kind of understand how awesome it is regardless. And I think for me personally, my best experiences with the game haven't even, like, I've won a few tournaments, but for me, honestly, my best experiences have been when I've had, like, really good friends with me. They're backing me on, supporting me, getting to spend time with them in whatever cities I travel to. When I went to Australia and I went to party, you know, it's like all these great experiences where you get to interact with other people. And I think at the core of the game, that's what makes this game so appealing, right? You may not earn as much money as other games, but your ability to interact and learn from other people is what makes this game rewarding. And I'd say that's probably it for, like, my top 5 suggestions, I think, as a player. Obviously, on this channel, I know this is our first video. We're going to be breaking down a lot more later on, but I kind of just wanted to sit down with you guys, give you guys, like, a straight experience, you know, of, like, you guys interacting with me and kind of understanding, like, where my thought process is as a player, kind of understanding me and giving you guys an introduction. Our next videos will probably be focused on different topics. We may have some battles on the channel. I'm still thinking about it, but I just wanted to kind of have this so you guys kind of understand from my perspective, like, what playing Pokemon is to me, what I think the best tips are to improve. So at that note, thank you guys. I know this is a bit of a short video. This is our first video. We're going to be expanding more, but thank you guys, and I will see you on the next one. I'm excited to be creating content. If you guys are interested, obviously, I'll have my Twitter down below, and I'll have my Twitch down below, as you saw. And yeah, if you guys are enjoying the content, please feel free, subscribe, we'd greatly appreciate it. But thank you guys. And I will catch you on the next video. See ya.